there was something I wanted to bring up.
Yep,
So obviously you were at the Orioles game.
I was.
Um, you know, it's kind of crazy, right? Of everything going on at once. And my setup was over a friend's house, had Ravens on the big screen. We had a small TV with the Orioles game, and then another small TV with Red Zone. So we had all the action going. Fully knowing what was on the line for the Baltimore Orioles, it's no secret, right? Ravens just started their regular season. They're 2-0, so everything's flying high for them, right? Certainly flying high for the other birds, the Orioles. They're in the 90 win mark, approaching 100 wins, and marching towards the postseason. They didn't really have it clinched up until Sunday, right? The idea was win and you're in, and you and I know some other fans who decided to forego watching the Ravens game, or I don't know if folks streamed it while they were at the game. I don't know how, but I kind of want to hear your experience because you were there versus mine. I want to follow that up with how our reactions were, but. Now, what was it like? I know the atmosphere was certainly tough. Like I know when they came back and the crowd was roaring, it was flipping awesome to hear that because we saw that after the Ravens game ended. But what was it like being there, especially on a Sunday afternoon? The Ravens are going against a huge divisional opponent in an early road test. Were you streaming it while the Orioles game was on? Did you try to check the score? Did you record the game and watch it later? Were other fans streaming the Ravens game and/or Red Zone? Or how was the action there? How did you get involved in the NFL action versus being present with the Orioles game? And I just want to hear what it was like being there because ultimately, as we know, the Orioles clinched, even though they ended up winning the game. Apparently, like right before the comeback, the Rangers happened to lose, which clinched it for the O's, but it was a win again in a scenario, but they still, in O's magic fashion, came back and won the game in extras. So take us through that experience, man, on Sunday. It was pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, it was wild. I went to Saturday's game and I went to Sunday's game for the Baltimore Orioles, and each game you could just feel it. Like there's something special going on with baseball and Baltimore right now. I mean, it feels like this team can go all the way, and people know that. I did see a couple Lamar jerseys at the stadium, but it was Baltimore and it was the Rays, so there were some Tampa Bay fans. My girlfriend and I went. We kind of were enjoying the game. It was pretty sticky. It was kind of hot throughout the day. So around the fifth or sixth inning, we decided we were going to get up and do a lap and kind of go into some of the air-conditioned places. Got back to the seats, and the Tampa Bay Rays got 2 home runs. And we both went, all right, that's it. We're done. We're not sitting here anymore. These seats are cursed. So we took another lap and went to the flag court because things were going okay at the flag court when we were there last time. So we get there. I can't see a thing. The flag court's great if you just kind of want to hang out and baseball's going on in the background, but if you actually want to watch the game, it's impossible. So my girlfriend was watching the scoreboard and just, when the crowd reacted, she would kind of figure out what was going on. I was looking through glass at the Sportsbook restaurant, and I had the Oriole game on a television, and I had the Ravens game on 2 TVs on either side of the Orioles television. So every time the crowd would roar or something, I would actually turn my back to the TVs and look at the field and try to figure out what had just happened. So that was pretty wild. When they came back, when they put up the graphic that they clinched, the crowd roared, but when they won, and the Oriole bird came out and was flying the flag, and people were dumping Gatorade over Cedric Mullins and Santander and stuff like that. Like it was everybody was so happy and ecstatic, and couples were kissing and people were hugging and high-fiving and dancing. I mean, it was such a party atmosphere, so exciting. And I took my godkids last night to meet the Oriole bird and Mr. Splash. They were doing something at a local supermarket here. The line for the Oriole bird and Mr. Splash was wrapped around the building. This place, I mean, everybody loves their Baltimore birds, but right now the Orioles, they have everybody in Baltimore's attention. They're excited. The postseason starts in just a couple days. I think there's, 10 games left, I think, in the regular season for the MLB. So as much as everybody loves their Ravens and they love their purple and black, this town is going orange for the next couple weeks because everyone is so excited about this Orioles team and this postseason coming up.
Wow, what an experience! So you're like You didn't go find another seat. You literally like were watching it on TVs at the stadium. You're crazy, man. That's
I,
pretty
you know,
cool.
those
It's cool
seats were
though.
cursed. 2 home runs when we
You
sat
didn't go
back
find a
down.
new one. You're so superstitious. I love it. You didn't go find a new. Like you didn't. That's crazy. Like you had to like you're there and you're like watching it on TVs through glass. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna find a seat, bro. Like I don't know. Just to me, I'm
It,
thinking like, why didn't you go sit down? Like it wasn't sold out. I saw, so could have easily found a seat. But I get it, right?
yeah,
It's fine. I'm not busting you too much. It's just surprising to hear that kind of reaction, but it's cool at the same time. You were there in the thick of it and took it all in, and I guess so because at that point, when the game was over, the Ravens game was already over.
right.
So people are already rejoicing that they found out the Ravens took care of business in Cincinnati, and then now the Orioles came back and won. So not to had any extra incentive, but of course, Ravens fans or not even Ravens fans, Baltimore fans are extra juiced and energized because both birds took care of business on a Sunday. And it was like, it was one of our Sundays to remember. Same thing here. Like, we're watching the game, and of course, Tampa Bay goes back to back with home runs, and we're like, oh no. Like, and then of course, the Ravens, that point where like, Burrow came back and it was 27-24. I'm like, man, like, this can't happen. This is a nightmare. Like, can this really happen? Like, are both birds going to lose and blah, blah, blah. And Ravens took care of business. And I'm pretty sure you saw the clip. You saw Harbaugh's reaction after the game on the sideline, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, that
Mr.
embodied all of us because when the Ravens won the game, I literally jumped on my friend's back and was like celebrating, like, yeah, like you think we won a Super Bowl. Because I was just like, again, I didn't expect us to win. I predicted a loss, right? And I'm just thinking, like, the way we took care of business, I was like, let's go. Like, Ravens really are 2-0 and took care of business against the Bengals. Like, I was energized. And then right then we flipped on this Orioles game and we literally just flipped from purple to orange. And we're like, let's go. And it was full blown watch mode. And to watch him come back in O's Magic fashion, ninth inning, tie the game, going to extras, and the way they came back, it was a back and forth game. And we're high fiving around, and we already knew they clinched. So, of course, we're all jubilee, there's jubilee to go around, at the crib because of the celebration. We already knew they clinched, but the Orioles coming back and winning and actually getting the W. Um, it was just magical. And it was just like, what a day, to see the celebrations on TV like that. Like you said, the Gatorade and like, you know, couldn't wait to, like I said, was like, oh, great, man. Can't wait to record the call this week. Like, we got a great game to talk about, and the O's are on fire, and they're now in the postseason. Their mains are they going to be division champs, AL East champs, or not? So it remains to be seen. There's about 2 weeks left in the season to get that done. So it's just awesome. It's just certainly awesome to see. And, dude, it's game on, man.